thanks so much for downloading the latest episode of The Ugly Truth. Today, we are recapping our Halloween hangovers. Also, I talk about my doctor visit, and Paula tells us about Pablo's visit to the vet. This and our Ugly and Awkward Moments of the week. Thank you so much. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you, from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie?
Only women of the evening shave above their knee.
Paula?
I'm going to fart in his face. I know it.
Uncensored as always, it's time for the Ugly Truth.
Welcome to the Ugly Truth. This is episode 415.
Yeah, whatever.
I know, you're in a bad mood. Halloween hangovers. It's been a rough week for Poe, but she's here, you guys. We're going to cheer her up. We're going to talk. Everybody's been asking about you. They want to make sure you're okay.
Oh, are you getting those emails again?
I'm not. I'm actually, because producer Dub was nice enough to tap in and do a show. Now they're like, oh, I hope Paula's all right. I think everything's fine. And I'm like, everything's fine. But you know what? We all have our limits in life, right? And there's nothing wrong with taking a couple personal days to figure shit out. And that's all you were doing.
What do they call that? Bottlenecking or rubbernecking or, like when everything comes to a neck?
Bottleneck?
I don't know. Where everything kind of
just comes to a head, like a popper, like a big cyst that needs to be popped by Dr.
You know what I was
Popper?
doing last night? Because I thought I felt something on my back. I took off my shirt and I started taking pictures of my back with my cell phone. Have you ever done that?
Yes, actually.
That is amazing.
Yes.
Because you can zoom in really close.
You're like, what
on
is
the pictures.
this?
And what's worse though is when you can't find it. And I'm just like, what is this? I had hand stretch marks on my back trying to figure out where and I'm like, what are you? Where are you? Show yourself.
Was it like a clear bump or something? Or?
Well, I thought it was a blackhead. It turned out it was a freckle, but.
Oh, okay. Yes. I have. Actually, I went through a phase where I was really paranoid about getting skin cancer.
Oh,
so I took pictures of my back, and I'm like, I vow that I will take pictures of my back every 3 months so that I can compare the freckles or what. I don't have any moles, but I'm like, I'm going to compare the freckles so that if they grow, I'll know that I'm dying. And that's my OCD anxiety thing kicking in. Mm-hmm. And so I did for a few months. I did do that. And I mean, talk about making yourself crazy. Thinking that you're going to find even an ounce of a change and you're just waiting every day for it. It's like the people who weigh themselves literally every 5 or 6 hours to see if they've lost or gained any weight. It's the same thing. So yes, I have done that. And of course I gave it up. I'm like, nothing's changing. This is such a pain in the ass. I'm not doing this anymore. And all I can see is my fat ass and I hate it. And so I stopped doing it.
You know what's happened to me lately? Well, for one, okay,
What?
Well, I took pictures of my face too to see. My face is doing this weird thing where it's just kind of looking like soft and kind of saggy. Not like total saggy, but like...
I thought you were going to say that you had Bell's palsy.
No. It's just, it's kind of looking like not tight. And it kind of looks like my thighs. I don't know. It's just
you're getting a little. Okay. Well, in our family, we all have pretty round cheeks, and what happens after a while is they start to sag.
Yes, I might be getting closer to my facelift than I thought.
Well, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I know a lot of women do get them around the time where they start seeing things. I do know that I've done research on this. Injections actually help significantly because the collagen is starting to degrade. Basically, your collagen is starting to die, and so that's why they do those collagen injections, or they do Botox or Restylane or whatever you want. And it actually does do it does kind of like a natural lift when they so that could help. You may not need to necessarily get a full facelift. You might be able to just do some injections around the cheekbone or around the nose. That's what Jennifer Aniston did. She looks great.
I was on Groupon the other day because Ryan's birthday's coming up, and I was looking at some activity things to see if I could get a discount.
Sure.
And I don't know how it came across, but I came across these spas in Elk Grove where I am. And some of them do this laser rejuvenation thing.
Yes, I have heard of that.
What it is it's like a laser, and I don't know if it like burns the first layer of your skin off or what it does. And but it has like a vacuum on the end too. So as it like lasers, it sucks it up at the same time.
Come to our spa. Dip your head in acid.
It's not a chemical peel. Okay. But in a container next to you, like the same container they use for lipo.
I'd be like, I want to watch.
You see like a bunch of ash accumulating, and it's just like your face. Ew. You know?
Are you going to do it? Do you want to do it?
Well, it's not that expensive, actually. I think it was like $100 for like your first time. That's and so bad. I'm just like... and then it follows up with just like a regular facial. And I'm just like, I want to try that because I just want to see.
You should do it.
What they say is the first time you may not notice like significant results, but they said if you do it like at least 2 or 3 times, then you will definitely notice like significant results.
Well, then you know what? Definitely start with that before you start doing facelift injection stuff.
And then they said, then you should do like a monthly maintenance. And so I'm just like $100 a month, you know, probably wouldn't be so bad.
Well, maintenance might not be $100.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's true.
Especially if you sign up for something where you just go.
Like if there's a plan or something.
I'm sure of it. And if it works for you, it's great. So that's really good.
And the girl that did it, because they had a video on there, because I'm just like, this looks like it would hurt. She's like, oh my gosh. She's like, this doesn't even hurt.
Well, what do you want them to say? It hurts like a motherfucker, you guys, but it works.
Well, when they talk about chemical peels, I mean, they basically are painting acid on your face.
I know.
And so I don't want anything like that.
I don't want anything harsh on my skin like that. I mean, I will say this, regardless of whether you do this or not, when you turn 40, you really need to revamp your skincare process. Your skin does change, and it may be really good skin still, but it does require more moisturizer. It just requires more care if you don't want to look ashy all the time. Like, I noticed that I was looking old and I hated it. And I'm like, what is this? Is it because I'm not losing, it's like, is it because I'm fat? Is it because I'm old? What is it? Do I need color? So I started really looking at it. I started increasing how much water I drank for starters. But the other thing is I changed the moisturizer and my skincare process, my regimen, I should say. And I mean, like, I'm getting like little bags under my eyes and I hate it. And so I'm like, okay, how do I fix this? So I was under moisturizing basically. And I also was not exfoliating at all. And so I started doing that. And now my skin looks way better. So sometimes that's all you need to do is just have an actual skincare routine.
I realized there was a problem, and this was probably at least 5 years ago, when I went to go get my eyebrows waxed, and the section between your brows, like above your nose.
Yes.
The lady, she took her 2 fingers and she spread them like you would spread your labia. Yeah. And she put the wax there and then, ripped it. And I'm just like, that was really awkward. Like, she took her 2 fingers and like she spread my skin out to like make it taut.
Right.
And I was just like, that felt uncomfortable. Like that was awkward. But the other thing I have too is I have what mom has, like my upper lids. I like feel like those dogs that like
bloodhounds
that like sag into their eyes,
right?
Because every time I go to put eyeshadow on, I have to lift up my eyes.
Oh, really?
Oh,
you have it worse than I do.
Because then I do like the crease eyeshadow.
You're like,
and
why
then when
did I
put
do
it down, I put it down. It just is gone. It just, it doesn't make any difference. And I'm like, well, that was pointless.
So before we were recording, we were talking about Halloween recap minimally.
Yes.
And so yesterday, I don't know what I was thinking when I did it, but the doctor, I had to go to have my annual physical yesterday, Halloween day. I had to go get my annual.
I think this has happened before.
Maybe. I don't know. But I was really anxious this year for some reason. I don't know why. I honestly think it's because I've been dealing with hospitals and nurses and doctors for all of our whole family for like the last month. And so I was like, God, one more thing. Like, I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to deal with it. But I went. My weight is flat, which is good. I haven't lost anything, but I haven't gained anything. And, I'm always worried about that. And I did not have to have a pelvic exam because I had one like a year ago or a year and a half ago. So I'm not due until next year. And I was like, oh my God, Thank you. And he's like, however, and I'm like, what? He goes, we do have to do the rectal. And I went, oh God.
What?
Yeah, they do. They do a rectal.
I'd be like, look, unless it's your birthday or Christmas, you can forget that.
Right. And so he, puts on the glove, and then he brings the nurse in because he doesn't
Okay, but the finger isn't bad. It's not like it's a weenie or something.
No, it's not. But I mean, here's the problem though, is I was anxious. And so the second I got in the car, my bowels started talking to me. So on my way there, I'm like, okay, suddenly I feel like I need to go to the bathroom. But I'm like, first of all, I don't know what you're doing. This is not what we do.
Did you look at the glove when you pulled it out?
Hold on. Can I get to that part?
All right.
God. And so
go.
I get there and I'm sitting and I'm waiting for him to come in to start the physical. And I'm like, why is this happening? I feel it's almost like diarrhea cramps. And I'm like, why is this happening?
I get nervous every time I go to the doctor, and I always feel like I have gas, especially the OBGYN, because I'm thinking I'm going to fart in his face. I know
especially when they make you scooch up and like hike your legs up in those things and stuff.
I know. I always feel like I'm always exposed. They're like, okay, scoot your butt down like 2 feet. I'm like, I can't. Really?
So
I was all the way to end. So you feel like your butt's hanging up and it's like shaking.
Oh my God, I hate it so much. And so I'm sitting there and he's doing everything and we're talking, and I have this spot on my arm that I'm absolutely paranoid is skin cancer. So I said, so he goes, do you have any questions before we start the actual exam? Because we go through the health and all that stuff. And I said, actually, I do have a question. And I pointed, I said, see this dot on my arm? And he's like, yes. And I said, I think it's cancer. And he goes, well, let me look at it. So he looks at it and he pokes, he goes, okay, it's not skin cancer. I go, well, what is it? He goes, were you bitten by a mosquito this year? And I said, I was. He goes, that's scar tissue. And I went, oh. I go, are you sure? He goes, positive. And I'm like, all right.
I thought he was going to tell you it was a liver spot.
Oh my God, Paula, no. And so I said, all right. So at this time, my stomach is still going, and I was like, dear Lord. And so I was so afraid of the pelvic because I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm so afraid. And so he goes, oh, you don't have to have a pelvic this year. You're good. He goes,
You're
but
like, yay!
He goes, unfortunately, I have to deliver the bad news. I'm doing a rectal. And I was like, no. And
then your stomach's like,
oh my God, Paula. And then it was like, I got this big air bubble cramp that I'm sure you could see if I was laying flat. He
probably popped it.
Oh my God.
All right, here we go.
And so he goes, so if I can have you lay to your side, I was like, okay. And so I was white knuckling the bed, hoping to God that nothing was going to come out when he pulled his finger out.
He probably was just like, okay, I need you to relax a little bit.
He did. He goes, I really need you to relax your muscles. Try real hard, deep breaths. Imagine being somewhere fun. He literally was like, imagine being somewhere else. And I was like, I could have made a diamond.
God, you probably broke his finger.
I can feel he's like, all right. And he's
I need to be
hard.
able to just get in there
and
a little bit.
And I'm just like, please don't poop. Please don't poop. Please don't poop. And so then he finally pulls it out, and there's this huge relief, but not release. And so she hands me the tissues. You know how they do that. They go, the 1, the 2, here's your tissues. And he goes, okay. Well, the thing is they actually check immediately. They check the slide to make sure there's nothing weird going on.
Oh, so he rubs his finger on a glass thing?
Yes. And then he checks it.
God.
It's a stain of some kind. I don't know, Paula.
Slick.
I hate it. I hate that this is how we have to check for things, but it is. So
it's a bacon stripe.
I don't know, man. As long as it's not red, I'm good. So she gives me the tissues. I clean up. I'm like, okay, not exactly clear. Not exactly nothing. And I was so worried. But I did not poop on the doctor because I was laying there going, if I poop at all, I will have to leave town and assume a new identity. I will never be able to come back. It's over. I'll never live this down. And so
you'll have to go into the witness poop protection program.
The WPP will be calling my name. They're going, yes, Mrs. Miner, we heard that you defecated at your doctor's office. We have a house for you in Omaha. And I'd be like, all right, on my way.
You'll be a claims examiner. And
yes. Welcome to Omaha, Karen. That will be me. And they'll be like, and then the person next to me, so what'd you do? I'm like, poop in the doctor's. Understood.
I pooped at my doctor's office. That's okay.
I diarrheaed at work, so It is what it is. So yes, I'm healthy, like, thank goodness, and Daryl's healthy too. Daryl has to get his colonoscopy before June of next year. So he's like, thank God I have months.
That bad. I had one when I was like freaking 32 or something like that, or 35.
Told him, I said, I'm kind of looking forward to the cleanse. I'm like, can I do it with you?
Oh like, my God, that was amazing.
I told him, I said, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm like, it's doctor prescribed and everything. I'm like, I said, I will do it with you. He goes, why would you do that? I'm like, well, because I love you. And in my mind, I'm like, because I'm going to lose like 7 pounds and I'm going to love it. My stomach will never be flatter.
You know what was strange is I expected like, all this stuff. There really wasn't even that much. And I'm just like, well, it's probably because I eat like a flea and it's not like you're going to poop out fat.
No.
But the name of it is so weird. They're like, okay, here's your movie-plex. I'm like, my movie-plex?
What is that?
I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm like, what am I going to go to the cinema? And, is it like a seat and a toilet at the same time? I mean, what is this? But the worst part is having to drink it all. Blech.
Well, yeah, isn't it like a gallon?
It's huge.
I was going to ask you, because I know you did one early on because they were trying to figure out what was wrong with your guts.
Well, that's how I found out I had celiac.
Right, exactly. And so I was wondering, is there a timed schedule where you have to drink it like every 30 minutes or until it's gone? Or how do they tell you to do it? Because you can't just sip it watching television. Like, you have to chug it, right?
I think the thing is measured. And so you have to drink like half of it when you start, and then like the second half, like after like, I want to say like 4 hours or something like that, or something like that. And then by the next morning, you should still be like totally clear. I think actually eventually it's like just green or something.
Ew, because it's the stuff coming directly out of you.
It's just like goes straight through you. Like as soon as you drink it, you should be like peeing out of your butt. And so
I can't imagine that your asshole feels good. There's no way. It's got to hurt.
No, it doesn't burn. It's kind of like Gatorade, So
that's good. I would just think your butt would be so tired. Your sphincter would be like, we are so exhausted. Stop with this.
It kind of just reminds you of like an enema, but just internally. Yeah. So it's like a flush.
Sure. So, well, anyway, I told him I'd do it with him. I'm like, are you kidding? I'm looking forward to this. Let's do it tomorrow. He's like, no. And I'm like, all right, fine. But I'm just saying, I'm ready. Just order 2 and you and I will do it together.
When I got mine done, I had to get an EGD too. So they put the like the camera down my throat into my stomach.
Wow, you got double teamed.
Yeah, I felt like I was skewered. Ew. And so
do you remember anything?
A little bit. I remember when they were pulling the probe out of my butt and I was like, ouch!
Oh no.
I felt like I'd been captured by natives or something, but so natives who had Demerol.
Oh my God. Yay. So, see, that's the other thing is you get good drugs too.
But then I remember, they're just like, try and pass as much gas as you can. But I wasn't really gassy, and I'm just like, I wonder if people just seize that opportunity to be disgusting.
I don't know, but I know Daryl will be just fine in that department. He'll be like, yeah, sure, no problem. He'll muster up the courage.
I spread my butt cheeks as far as wide as possible.
So you don't make any sound?
I don't want to make a sound.
I will admit that I do that as well.
Allison said that when her and Silas first dated and she was spending the night at his house,
yes.
If she ever had to pass gas, like when they were sleeping, she said she would spread her butt cheeks and like hang her butt over the bed. Like
that's a visual.
And like, pull the covers back so that way it was just like all airy.
It is amazing the things that we do to stay ladylike, even in our slumber.
I told her, I'm like, I did the same exact thing.
Everyone does it. Oh, well, maybe not. Maybe there's some girls who are really proud of it, but I definitely don't.
I don't know that every girl does that because I've read articles about, like, even in Sex and the City, Carrie said that she did a number 2 at Big's house. And I'm just like, what the fuck is she talking about? I could stay at my boyfriend's house for a whole week and I would never poop.
I would never.
I would never do that.
Nope. I would never. That's just awful. That's like saying
I could hold it.
Yeah, no. I'm just not. No, it's not going to happen. It's an arrangement in your mind. You're not going to do it. So, all right. So let's move on very quickly because I want to hear the wrap up of Pablo and the vet. As quickly, let's.
No,
we all know that Pablo needed to get a cleaning. and that he was probably going to have some teeth removed as well, because he's old. And I assume it happened. You took him and...
Yeah, so Pablo and Bo, they're like, little wingmen to each other.
Yes.
And so I knew that if I took Pablo and left Bo at home, Bo would be like freaking out. So I took both of them with me to drop off Pablo. And I left Bo in the car and I took Pablo inside. Well, Bo could see inside the vet's office because it was like pure glass window. So Bo was like barking his head off, looking at us like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, where are you taking him? We were checking him in, and Pablo, he refused to go to the lady because she kept trying to pick him up. She's like, come here, Pablo. And he looked at her and he ran. And because I think he recognized the vet office.
Oh, well, so dogs aren't stupid.
I had to pick him up and I handed her over, and he was like, Chihuahuas shake already. But I mean, he was just like, he reminded me of like Ren and Stimpy. He was shaking so bad. And I'm like, Pablo, it's okay. And he was like, So I handed him over. We dropped him off at 8:20, and they said they're just going to do blood work, etc., just to make sure everything's all healthy and fine. And then he'd have surgery probably sometime after lunch. And so I'm just like, well, I don't like that, because I kind of had hoped that, he'd just go like right in and, not have to wait. But whatever.
Yeah, you don't want him kenneled.
So they call us and let us know that we can pick him up at 5:30. So we go and get him, and he is totally drugged out. In fact, the kids thought it was hilarious because they're just like, Pablo's high. And I'm like, well, I said he has a lot of medication and sedation in him. His tongue was hanging out. He tried to lick me, but he couldn't move his tongue. And so he was very excited to see us, though. And
I'm sure.
I know, it was cute. And so we got him home. The first thing he did was run around, go outside, go try and drink some water, and he wanted food, so they said he could have his wet food. So they sent him home with antibiotics and pain medication. So he was good on pain medication for 24 hours, but the antibiotics he had to start taking that night. But literally, like the first 3 nights, he would like not leave, not even my side. Like he was just like on my lap or on my chest. He could not.
I did notice that.
He would not leave.
I wonder what that was.
I don't know. So he had to like literally stay on. I slept on the couch with him, and he would sleep on my chest. That's the only way he would sleep. Otherwise, he was whimpering a lot. He was like, even though he was sleeping. And the first night I got kind of scared. So I ended up calling the vet hospital because he had started having like labored breathing. And it was really scary. And so I was just like, oh my God. And so
what did they say?
Well, she said that that can happen sometimes. Like if they were intubated and coming out of sedation and stuff like that.
Well, he's a very sensitive soul.
Well, and especially dogs being that small, I think,
right.
It's probably pretty hard to manage that kind of stuff. So,
well, I'm so glad. So have you cut the apron strings? Have you forced him to be a normal functioning dog now?
Well, right now he's laying next to me and he's got his paw on my computer. So
is he like, has this bonded you for life? Is he like welded to your soul now? Or?
Well, I think he just, Olivia's just like, because she was upset that he wouldn't go to her. Because she's just like, I just want to hold him. And I'm like, well, Olivia, I'm like, if you were sick or you just got to the hospital, I'm like, would you want Ryan? I'm like, who would you want to have hold you? And she's like, Ryan. I'm like, no, you wouldn't.
Lies.
I'm like, she's like, I would. And I'm like, Olivia, you would want to go to me. You know that.
Yes.
And so.
For sure.
She just.
Come on.
She's ridiculous.
She just doesn't want to admit that it would really be you. God forbid.
I know.
My God. All right, really quick, and I do not know why I have this on notes that I wanted to talk to you about, but I had read something that had gone kind of viral on social media, where somebody posted and they said, "Hey, my mom told me not to shave above the knee," and I believed her for years. And then I don't know why, but one day I just decided to shave above my knee. She told me that if I did, it would grow back 10 times as dark. Which is why I was always afraid to do it, even though it looked dumb my whole life. Like when you wear shorts, you have like hair shorts. And so I never did it. But then I just finally decided to do it one day. And I was just wondering, did anybody else's mother tell them not to shave above the knee when they were growing up? Is this a generational thing? Is this just a, what is this? And I laughed because I said, our mom told us not to shave above the knee because only whores did it. Legitimately, prostitutes were the only ones that shaved above the knee.
Well, I think it's because she said you should never have shorts that are so short that you're showing that much leg, basically.
Oh, did she say that to you?
Well, it was kind of like, she's just like, your shorts shouldn't be that far above your knee. Which is funny because we used to wear like the shortest fucking shorts we could find. Basically, our ass and vaginas were hanging out.
I just remember her specifically saying, only women of the evening shave above their knee.
Women of the night.
Yes. And I believed it, but of course did not. I mean, of course I shaved above the knee.
You know what, though? I still wear short shorts, but I don't think I shave above the knee. I don't even know if I have hair up there.
Well, we do not have a lot of hair. And so for us, it's not a significant issue, but that there are obviously women who have
a lot of hair.
Yes, of course.
I always think of that picture of Celine Dion on stage where they had like that really bright light behind her. And then all of a sudden you could just see like on her legs, like all her hairs on her legs, like popping out. It was a really unflattering
I remember
picture.
That.
And I'm just like,
her mom told her not to shave above the knee.
We're like, well, clearly she doesn't shave above the knee because you could just see like all her leg hairs on top.
That's so funny.
Flaying out.
I was reading some of the responses, and this one lady goes, oh, yeah, woman, I've shaved everything from the belly button down since high school, and when my mom found out, she said she didn't know what to think of me.
Well, what's funny is I started shaving my legs, and I didn't even ask, and Mom got really mad at me.
She did?
I started shaving in 5th grade because most of my friends started shaving their legs. Yeah. And so I'm just like, well, I'm going to start shaving mine then. Because, your leg hair gets kind of thick by then. And
it really does.
And even Olivia's hair is getting kind of thick. And so I'm probably not going to let her do it this year, but maybe next year. Mostly
5th grade.
Mostly because I don't trust her with a razor. But,
Paula. My concern is she's going to be like, oh, I have carte blanche with this razor. And she's going to start shaving other things like her eyebrow or her hair or something.
It just frightens me. I don't know.
You just don't even know with her. She's such a renegade.
I just want to get her an electric razor, like something that she can't really hurt herself with. But anyways,
single blade,
something.
If you can find them. Yeah,
I just started doing it, and I had been doing it for like a month or so, and then Mom saw me in shorts, and she's just like, Paula Marie, how she does, Paula Marie. Have you been shaving your legs? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, you didn't even ask me. I'm like, I didn't know I had to.
It's my body, my choice.
She's just like, that is something you should have asked your mother about. And I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm like, do you want me to stop shaving them or something? She's like, well, you've already started. You might as well just keep going. But I'm just like, okay. But she was just so pissed that I started shaving my legs and I didn't include her on the decision.
In the decision. That's hilarious.
Which is probably because she wanted to be able to tell me no. And
no, that can't be.
You know how Mom is. She wanted to have the ability to control and say, no, you cannot.
I remember when I've told this story before. I don't know if I've said it on the show or not, but I was in 5th or 6th grade and I was oblivious to a lot of things growing up, and I don't know if it was just being generally naive, because I've been naive my whole life. I've had people say things to me, and I'm like, literally have no idea what you're talking about. They're like, what? And so it was when Mom was playing softball for her company. They had the softball. There was a time when real estate had a lot of softball teams.
They had a lot of sports, golf,
a lot of
softball.
after work activities, and Mom got really into it.
Didn't she start running and then she fell one time going to first base?
Well, maybe, but they put her at catcher. And if they put you at catcher, it's because you can't do much, but you want to participate. All you have to do is catch the ball and stand on the base. You're not going to even be required to throw it anywhere other than to the pitcher underhanded. You don't have to do anything.
I'm sure she was covered in bruises.
I don't remember, but I do remember that she had her own mitt, and she was the catcher for the team. Anyway, so she would drag us to these softball games, and we'd have to stay. And it's fun, you guys. We're at the park, but don't go more than 10 yards away.
Right.
So it's like we couldn't do anything but just sit there and pick daisies. So I was probably 11 or 12, and I was sitting, and one of the other kids of some agent or title company person, he walked by me and he goes, "Man, you have gorilla legs." And I'm like, "What?" I had no idea what he was talking about. I looked down. I'm like, "Oh, I have like hair on my legs." I never even noticed, because why would I? It didn't even occur to me. And so that night I said, "Mom, can I shave my legs?" And she looks down. She's like, "Yes." I walked away. And that was when I started. And I only shaved, have you ever done the thing? Does everybody still have the scar on their ankle bone? The long, skinny scar where you shave the skin off and it burns like a motherfucker?
Or that, or in the knee crease. God, I hate those.
Those
Or
nicks are so
the
painful.
front of the knee. I hate those ones too. God, Allison used to be the worst. She looked like a freaking cheese grater. God.
I had a friend when I was an adult, and a woman came in and she's like, "I'm so embarrassed." I mean, she was like our mom's age at the time, so maybe in her 40s. And I said, "What's up?" And she's like, "I shaved my ass. It hurts so bad." She's like, "I can't wear anything." She's like, "I'm so like..."
Wait, like her
I'm so
ass
in pain.
crack?
No, she shaved up the back of her thigh and just somehow got a weird angle and shaved skin off of her ass.
Oh.
And I'm like, wow. Maybe she slipped, or maybe it was too soapy and she kind of just went, whoosh, went up. It happens.
I've never shaved. I've shaved my ass crack, but not like.
And she's just like, it's like on the side, probably right above the crease of your ass. And she's like, "It hurts so bad." She's like, "I took a good chunk of skin off the skin." And I was like, "I don't even know what to say." She goes, "There's nothing to say. I'm just struggling today."
Have you ever nicked yourself shaving your vagina?
Oh, hell yes.
That scares me so bad. And you can feel it too. You're just like, oh God.
Yes.
You're like, I got myself, and I'm like, and then I look down and I look at my fingers. I'm like, we've got a bleeder.
I have, and if you don't get waxed and you're doing it manually, which we've all done
I just
before
don't think-
anybody's ever.
I don't think I could
Yeah.
do a wax. I just don't think so.
We have talked about it at nauseum, and we've never done it. We're chicken. We don't want to do it.
Well, for
I don't wanna do it.
starters, I just don't want to be in that position where someone's putting hot wax on my vagina hair and then ripping it off.
I already struggle with my doctor giving me any kind of exam. I don't want to go to some place and have some woman I've never met do that to me. It's weird to me.
Yeah. I
just don't want it.
I just imagine the women that do that are the ones that like walk around naked in like a gym locker room that just got out of the shower.
And they just don't care.
Yeah. The ones that are just like totally like free and comfortable. And I'm just like, I'm the ones that change in the bathroom.
I would not. I'm not that person.
So.
All right. Well, that's our soapbox for the day. We do need to do our ugly and awkward moments of the week.
This one is, I was by myself, but so when Mom was in the hospital, and like I said, I was doing the night shifts.
Right.
There was the one morning that I got really pissed off at Victor because I was 15 minutes later than I normally was. Well, I had mentioned that I had to get gas. And so there was this, I think it was a Shell station right by In-N-Out that I stopped to get gas at. And so I had put the thing in there. It's still dark because it was like 4:00 in the morning.
Oh, man.
And it was empty. There's nobody there. I put the pump inside my tank, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like kind of zoned out because I'm tired. And then all of a sudden, like right behind me, someone started talking really loud, and I turned around, and it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And it was that fucking television on the gas pump. And I was just like, oh my God, Jamie, I literally lost color because I thought someone had approached me and was talking to me.
No.
But I got so scared, and it was this woman talking about something stupid, but it was just like this television right there because it was the dead of quiet of the morning.
Oh,
and
no.
then and it was loud, and I jumped probably at least 15 feet in the air.
That is hilarious.
It scared me so bad.
Oh my God.
It really scared me.
You're like,
a
what the hell
lot.
is that?
Like I said, I turned around and I was just like, I was practically in karate hands because I was just like,
That's so funny.
It scared me. And then I got angry because I'm like, who does that? Who plays these things?
Whatever it is,
knock
it off.
Dawn in the dark when it's silent,
That is so funny.
I'm a single woman out here. I've come from the hospital.
No means no.
Right.
That is hilarious.
Oh God, and I'm like, why do they wait until you start pumping your gas and they like wait a good 5 seconds before they're just like, did you know that? Blah, blah, blah. I was just like, what?
That's hilarious.
Oh my God.
That's so funny.
It scared the crap out of me. And then when I finally realized what it was, I was just like, oh my God. And I kind of started giggling.
I would have laughed.
But I was still mad, but I was just like, oh my God. I'm like, that is so stupid. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, who does that? I'm like, that's a mean trick.
For real. Can't sneak up on us like that. Whatever it is, knock it off.
They shouldn't start those things until at least like 6 a.m. or something.
Can it just not be so bellowing? Does it have to be so damn loud?
Well, the thing is it wasn't even, it was like it must have been a dark screen because, I had to like pay for all my stuff and everything like that.
Right.
But, I didn't know that it was going to come on and, it was early. I was up all night with Mom and I'm like, I gotta fucking get gas. I gotta get home. And I know Victor's gonna call because, I was like, my mind was already thinking of all these other things. And so I'm sitting there like not even paying attention. And then I hear that and I was just like, what the hell? Jesus Christ, So.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, mine is more a subtle of an awkward moment, but it absolutely is. We had waited till the we're talking 2 hours before Costco closed to go get Halloween candy. And I didn't really talk about it, but I bought 2 boxes of full size and 1 bag of minis. And I always give the minis to the bigger kids if they're, teenagery, because if they have a costume, like unlike you, I know you wanted to give out dental floss. I will give them 1 tiny Milky Way or something. I don't know. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I just don't feel like it's a hill to die on personally. But I mean, you and I are just different in that way, which is fine.
Well, I've never really done it before. I think this year I was just feeling particularly hateful at the world.
Sure.
And so I was willing to spend $15 on dental floss.
Hey, whatever. I get it.
It was either that or hand sanitizer. So.
Oh, that's a good one, too, because, they could probably use it.
Oh, they'd probably like huff it or something. I don't know. Snort it or I don't know what they would do with it.
So we were leaving Costco and I'm still really like mentally and physically wiped out. It's been an insane month, but yesterday or whatever, the 30th, Wednesday when we went. So we're walking out and Paula, I can trip and fall over anything, literally even my own feet. So we're walking to the car and it's always the same. I get, I relax and I just start acting like I'm a normal person is usually when it happens.
You can never let your guard down.
Never. And I was foolish enough to let my guard down for a minute so that I could just try to walk and talk at the same time. Daryl's in front of me a little bit or to the side of me and we're walking. And there was, the tiniest of asphalt hill, like a baby, like an inch. And I'm wearing Nikes. I'm not even wearing heels or anything.
Wow.
And I'm walking and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, I rolled my ankle and I was able to stop myself from falling, which would have been terrible because I was walking and trying to get my phone out of my purse at the same time. And that's when I rolled my ankle and my whole body I got shocked like somebody had hit me with a taser. My whole body went into shock because I was so afraid that I was going to fall. And in that moment, all I could think of is, first of all, how dumb I look. So I went, I wobbled really violently. And Gerald goes, what did you just do? And I'm like, oh, nothing. He goes, did you almost fall? I'm like, no, yes, I did. I almost
Keep
fell.
going.
I said, just keep walking. Just let's move. Let's get out of here. I go, I am so glad I did not fall, although there were others walking, so they saw me wobble really violently. But I said, I just need to get in the car and just sit still for a minute, because I was so close to falling down in tennis shoes. I couldn't believe it.
Sometimes you wonder which is worse, because have you ever seen people like, someone was in the hallway and like I heard a sound and I'm just like, what was that? And Ryan's like, oh, I just kind of tripped and fell. I'm like, did you biff it in the hallway? And he's like, biff it? And I'm just like, you've never heard that before? And he's just like, not really. And I'm like, never mind. But sometimes I wonder, like, which is worse, like the act of trying not to fall or just actually the falling? Because I've seen people like go to great lengths to avoid falling, and that almost looks worse than just the actual fall, you know?
Ugh, God, it's so bad.
I know, falling's pretty bad, though.
I hate it.
Because, I mean, that just brings on a whole new set of problems. Like, do you have, like, neurological problems or,
yes, probably.
Is it an age thing or?
I don't know, but I know that what flashed before my eyes was me breaking a hip or fracturing something.
That's what I was going to say. You're going to be covered in bruises.
I'm going to be mom's neighbor at the rehab facility.
Are you going to at Shady Pines?
At Shady Pines, yes. With the nurses.
Did you see Ryan's shirt?
I loved it. It was so cute.
He wore it today. He was so excited.
It's awesome. Well, he loves pop culture. I think that's very cool.
Well, it's a bright pink, and he's like, "Mom, I need to start watching some episodes." I'm like, "Have at it."
He's never even watched an episode?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, they're so fun.
I don't know if he'll like them, but
I think they're hilarious.
They are funny.
B. Arthur is the shit on that show. I love her.
I liked Estelle Getty, but...
Oh, well, picture it. Sicily. She's awesome, too. They're all good. I think Betty White's the only one remaining alive.
Yeah, isn't she like 110 or something like that?
I think she's like 96 or something.
That's pretty good.
It is good. I strive for that, for sure. For sure.
Well, I think that's a wrap for today. Yes. Oh, well, the fight will be over by now, but huge fight this weekend, UFC. It's the BMF title fight.
Predictions?
I personally think Nate's going to take it.
Me too.
I think he's going to get him by submission personally.
Oh, yeah. He's not going to knock him out.
No, but some people think it'll go to decision.
Oh, really? I don't think so. I think Diaz is going to submit. He's an amazing floor wrestler or whatever you call it. Yeah.
He's a ground game kind of guy. Mm-hmm. And then, like I was telling you before, there are like prop bets that like if you're a gambler, that there's prop bets, which are basically like bets on like things that are kind of like fringe bets, like who will bleed first. And the odds of Diaz bleeding first are like, 100 plus 150, or, Diaz will say the F word more than 2 times, plus 135. The one I'm going to bet on, if I can actually find out how to bet on it, is Diaz will do the Stockton slap, which is, plus 250. So that's the one I'm going to bet on.
That would be great.
He has to. I mean, he always does. So.
Oh yeah, he has to. I'm so excited about that fight. I absolutely cannot wait.
I know, we are very excited. But it's a really good card. There's other really good fighters.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the fight. This is one of the first fights in a really long time that we're actually excited about. So I can't wait. And then let's hope for everyone's sake that Cerrone and Conor McGregor fight.
I know. I just don't know how I feel about that.
I don't either. I mean, here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that because of McGregor's PR and marketing, that is what we're really worried. That's why we're worried. Cerrone he's a really good fighter. He just doesn't. He can get knocked out. That's my only concern.
Well, yeah, he doesn't have the greatest chin, and he's really slow. And Conor is really fast
and precise
and incredibly accurate.
Yes.
So the best thing Cerrone can do is out the gate, get him to the ground.
Yes.
And then he will have him.
Me
so
too.
If he can get him with his kicks initially, and early on, before they get sweaty, get him to the ground, then I think he has a really good chance. If he can't do that, he absolutely cannot strike him.
McGregor can be submitted I've never seen anyone other than Khabib knock him out. So it'll be, and everybody else has submitted him. So I'm hopeful that Cerrone is going to do the same.
Well, I mean, Cerrone is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but I mean, he's so much more than that. I mean, he's an absolute master in it.
Absolutely.
Kind of like Nate. And
yes,
I mean, Connor, they say he's a brown belt, but I mean, that really doesn't mean a whole lot. And
he can be submitted. He just needs to, you just need to be able to avoid getting smacked around in your head, because at which Cerrone can be. He's been knocked out in the first round more than once. So he has to train for that.
Connor's a striker, period. That's all he does.
Yes.
And so
because it works.
He doesn't kick, he doesn't submit, he doesn't do anything else. He's just a striker.
Well, we'll find out. I think it's December.
But that's not, that one's January 18th, I believe.
Oh, okay. So we have a long time to go.
So rooting for the home team, Nate Diaz.
Yes.
Not surprised, motherfuckers. So please head on over to uglytruth.com, click on the Amazon button, and just peruse around and see what you want to get. Plus, you're going to want to join Amazon Prime, because Black Friday will be happening this month. And Prime members get special deals on Black Friday options. And then what's it called? Green Monday, or what is it?
Yeah.
Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday.
Amazon has excellent deals on Cyber Monday. So click on that and then find different ways that works for you to sign up for Prime. And then you'll be all set. And then always visit lipandclip.com. I need to go there because all my eyeliners and lip liners run out. You know, you don't get a lot of warning. You twist it, and then it's gone. So
yeah, it's true.
I got to do that. But other than that, thanks everybody for joining us. Have a fabulous rest of your weekend, and we will see you on Wednesday. Bye.
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.